9/11 happened, and it was kind of like my wake-up call. And right around all this emotionally tumultuous time, you know, I happened to catch HBO's Band of Brothers series, and you couldn't pull me away from that. But when I saw these dudes jumping out of planes, I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. Well, you're going to Fort Campbell. You're going to be in the 101st. Wow, this is the dream right here. I'm in the 506, just like that damn HBO special. We wound up in Ramadi for the majority of 2006. We really didn't have like a good idea of what we were getting ourselves into. At least I didn't. And you know, in 2003, we were staying in a palace, marble floors, gold fixtures. It was pretty nice, but this was totally different. We were in toe-to-toe firefights consistently for like the first 4 months. This is actually a war. This isn't CNN. This isn't Fox News. This is where the fight is. There was always a catastrophic, ridiculously sized IED on Easy Street. It's where my truck got blown up, where my platoon sergeant died, where my gunner almost died. There's no training for this. It's a dice roll. Either you're gonna get blown up or you're not. The place where my truck got blown up, pretty much every vehicle in that convoy had parked in that spot, and it hadn't gone, and that IED had just sat there. I was coming back from mid-tour leave when all this went down, and like I said, I sat in that seat of that Humvee for 4 months. I leave for 2 weeks, and the very last night of my mid-tour leave is when my truck gets catastrophically hit by an IED and my platoon sergeant dies sitting in my seat. Had I been 24 hours later or earlier, that would have been me. We got back and it was like a month of block leave, and we were right back into training up for Afghanistan. And I just came back from one of the craziest things one of the craziest years of my entire life, and I was just done. Handful of broken Xboxes and Xbox controllers later, and getting in constant fights with my wife and getting really mad at her over really, really trivial things. I didn't make the connection that it was PTSD. I went on Craigslist and found Warrior Traditions groups. And it was basically a bunch of combat vets meeting in the basement somewhere, trying to figure out how, now that we're civilians, how we're gonna function. And it wasn't even an advertisement for the groups at the time, it was an advertisement for somebody to run the groups. And to be honest, the first time I read it, it didn't sound appealing at all. It's like, I can't do that. I'm a mess. How am I gonna help anybody? But I ended up doing it, obviously. I don't know how many thousands of combat vets I've talked to now. But our stories are all pretty close to the same thing. I look back at April 9th, and I did not die that day when, 24 hours earlier I would have. So now I'm here, and I don't take it for granted. I could do a lot. I could do a lot more.